All right, and this is Nito Marquis live officially for Pokemon Day 2025. Allow me to give a moment for the notifications to send out for everybody to hear this. Otherwise, allow me to welcome anybody that is hearing my words right now to the stream because I did not want to miss a Pokemon Day, dude. I thought, you know what? I can come back to Let's Go and stream for a little while. I've been thinking about pulling this game out anyways, since Mewtwo was the biggest hurdle. And Mewtwo I finally conquered after 40,000 resets. I figured, you know what? It's time to get started and go back to the hunt that I was supposed to be doing after Mewtwo, except that Mewtwo decided to take years. And that was the very first hunt I ever did on this channel, Articuno. So with that said, allow me to let that notification go out. If you're watching this back, guys, thank you so much for coming by, and I hope that you enjoy just the banter and the talking. I may or may not have any moments for you. I would love to have a stream moment because I don't think I've ever caught a shiny legendary in this game. In fact, I know I haven't because Mewtwo's the only one. I've not caught a shiny legendary on stream, even though I streamed so many Articuno streams. And then Mewtwo, oh man, did I stream a lot of Mewtwo, and I did not catch anything live. So you know what? Let's test the waters. Pokemon Day 2025. Let's test the waters and see what can happen. What are the possibilities of my luck in the Gen 1 game? Yeah. It's technically Gen 7 because of Meltan. It's Gen 1. I know it can Mega Evolve. That makes it anything other than Gen 1, 2, 3, 4. Does not, or 5. Doesn't matter. I don't care. And you know what? To an extent, you could say it's on brand for the theme right now because I'm playing a game that I can Mega Evolve in. And you know what else you can Mega Evolve in? Pokemon Legends ZA, which we got a trailer for today. Man, I am hyped for that game. I was also wrong, but I'll get to that once I have people in the chat that I can apologize to. Turns out I was 1,000% incorrect. I thought that Legends ZA takes place in the past, and I was kind of calling people foolish for thinking anything other than that. Well, it turns out I was 100% wrong. It is a urban redevelopment plan, as they said earlier in the trailer from last year, and I thought that meant redevelopment like they're building Lumiose City. I was insisting people were wrong. Well, as it turns out, they're taking what was Lumiose City and integrating it into an urban area with Pokemon. Therefore, it comes after X and Y, which makes sense. Pokemon Z, technically. I mean, even though it's Legends, Z was kind of supposed to be the third game. They probably could have made a sequel out of it, but yeah, I was wrong. I was way wrong about that. I look very foolish and ignorant on that one, man. I was positive that Legends ZA was going to be a prequel game, not a sequel game. I was way wrong about that. So with that said, allow me to welcome you back. It's been years since I streamed Pokemon Let's Go because I caught Mewtwo. 40,000 encounters plus, estimating it. I was just logging the hours that I was putting into it. 40,000 encounters, I finally found Mewtwo. So I had no reason to come back until I went to Articuno. Today's the day for Articuno. Nintendo Gamer Kid, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Nintendo Gamer Kid, could I get a quick sound check? How are you doing? I've also got a cat, so, you know, there's not much I can do with that. I have tea with honey, and I have a cat. That was funny. I picked up the Pro Controller. I forgot. I don't even think the Pro Controller existed yet when this game came out. I picked up the Pro Controller to play this game with the Pro Controller, and I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. You can't actually use that. It's not an option for this game. Alright, let's see. I think I figured something out. Meganium will be a psychic type. Emboar will be an electric type. Relegator will be a dark type. Alright, let's hear your theory here. My evidence is that they had events promoting it. Oh, are you talking GameStop events where you could go get the card and it would have a Terra type? Is that where you're going with this? I think you have more evidence than not, but at the same time, I don't know about it. It seems like Pokemon and Nintendo and Game Freak and all that, they're not particularly, like Nintendo, for instance, I bet runs the Pokemon events alongside Game Freak, but Creatures and the Pokemon Company, they take care of, well, I shouldn't say actually, I'm sorry, digress, start over. Yeah, the Terra Raid events. So the Terra Raid events are hosted by the Pokemon Company and Nintendo Corporation. the development of new Pokemon is creatures and Game Freak. So that's why I say I don't expect them to have enough internal communication to plan that out, but I like your theory. They have lovely communication within their scope. Let me move my mic really quickly. I was recording, oops. Sorry, gotta get the wire all messed up here. I was recording Majora's Mask with Naya, and I have everything kind of twisted up. And my cat's back. I picked up the controller, buddy, and you're back. Dude, I did not expect Johto starters like that. 2 Johto starters, and basically Cyndaquil swapped for Emboar. I was like, that's not really the Let's Go game that I was hoping for a Johto comeback, a Crystal remake. If I get lucky and they actually are going to bring Let's Go back, I doubt it, and lead the Switch 2 into fruition via a Let's Go game, that would be sick. But I don't think that's going to happen. So this is as close as I can get. He's auditioning. Tap Pig is auditioning for the next Johto games. He's like, hey, remember when you make Let's Go, Cyndaquil is cool, but look who's better. Tap Pig. All right. So, when I last left off this game, which it's been a few years here, this is where we were at. Is I streamed this several times. First off, that was a random find I've never... this was a random find that I have never showed in any videos. I really should just make a quick short, because when he evolves, I love Tentacool, dude. Poison types have the coolest freaking shinies. I digress. This was the big kahuna that I spent 40,000 encounters and several years of my time finding. And you know what's kind of funny about it? He ain't even that good. Well, yeah, Mewtwo is not... Well, I've got 3 bests on there, but still, you got 3 IV Mewtwo. I mean, especially with special attack being very good. Like, dude, where are you at, Mewtwo? So this is where I left off. And I want to say the last time I actually caught a shiny on stream was this little guy a long time ago. That's not the right one. I think I marked them all. The last time I streamed this and caught a shiny... How many more am I going to do? Let's see. Let's try this guy. Let's try you. All right, did I not mark... What did I not mark here? Oh, you know what? What day was it, actually? I want to know, when did I actually stream this one? All right, here he is. That was the last shiny I caught on stream, and that was May 9th, 2020. Assuming that I had the date right and my calendar wasn't switched on the Switch. That sounds right. Also, check this out. This is a 5 IV Ditto right here, and it was shiny. Let me take a sip of my tea. A lot of good this thing does, since I didn't end up using it in Pokemon Home. I never brought it over to anywhere. But yeah, that's a 5 IV Ditto, man. And here's the real kicker. That hunt that I streamed, Ditto, you see all these Dittos? I need to get rid of a lot of them. Check this out. This right here, this was the target. When I was hunting Ditto shinies, that was not the target. That was. Oh, yeah. Check that out. A natural 6 IV Ditto. Do you have any idea how many people actually have a legit, unhacked shiny... I'm not shiny, sorry. 6 IV Ditto? This ain't a hacked one, man. I hunted this thing. I mean, dude, every Ditto out there is hacked. Like, freaking every one of them is hacked. This right here, man, this is an accomplishment. I'll never forget the good times I had with that. All right, so I was here with Mewtwo. Obviously, Mewtwo is caught. Mewtwo is done, and I'm finally coming back. Now, you may wonder, why am I playing the female character, and why does my name appear to be Naya when you go here? That's because this was a save file that 6 years ago, Naya and I started and did a dual, or not a dual, a co-op Nuzlocke. So that's why this is Naya's profile. Need to remember. Let me think here for a second. Where was I? Oh, you know what? Let me check. I could probably escape rope, but I also think we can just walk it. I know I have a few Master Balls. Who knows? Maybe I'll find another one. It is Pokemon Day. Maybe I'll get lucky. But one thing I do want to check is Catching Pocket. How are we doing here? Got, oh yeah, Mewtwo wiped me, dude. I forgot about that. So I've got enough stuff that I'll be okay, but at the same time, I could use a little more. So before we go to Articuno, I got to get out of here. Once I get out of here, I'll go to Articuno after I stop by and get some Pokeballs, just to be sure. We'll take the long way instead of escape roping, you know? I don't plan on streaming too long today, so me dilly-dallying isn't a big deal regardless. I wasn't going to get that many resets in anyways, because I'll stream for a little bit, but I'm not going to go all night, you know what I mean? So, Nintendo Gamer Kid, how would you enjoy your Pokemon Day 2025? We've got some really cool events coming to SV, and they've hinted that... Well, no, I take back. They didn't hint that. I figured that one out. They said we got future events coming, except they showed what those are going to be. So, that's where I was like, you know what? I definitely should do some shiny hunting in SV. Sometimes it feels not lackluster, but it feels like the meat and potatoes of Nido Marquis is shiny hunting the hunts no one will take on, you know? I haven't done the super hard hunts I've talked about for years, like Manaphy. I don't even know if I can, but I'm just checking for a Master Ball really quickly. But otherwise, yeah, with Scarlet and Violet, I'm like, you know what? I can certainly play some of those events. I would love to do that. Hey, Phoenix, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Pokemon Day 2025. Kind of underwhelming. I'll give you that. I can see why you could say that. There really wasn't, like, a lot of stuff going on, if you will. It was the typical mobile updates where they make trailers that are cinematic. They overhype mobile games. And then the meat and potatoes was literally just one announcement. And even then, let's be honest, we didn't get a whole lot. We got a very Monday morning surprise trailer, except it was on Pokemon Day. Just checking the chat here. Let's see. I was in LA for Unova tour, and then I went and toured Nintendo of America and got... No, that's awesome. Phoenix, dude, that's awesome. I love to hear that. That is sick. Absolutely amazing. I love that. You got to go there. You got to tour it. That's sick, dude. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I got to do that someday. 100% I got to do that someday. Let's see if I... Whoa. I don't want to encounter anybody. Whoa. All I want to do... yeah, I was going to say, so fun fact for you guys, if anybody didn't play Pokemon Let's Go. When you enter a new area, you got to be very careful, because if a shiny spawns and you turn and jump up the ladder, you're screwed. So give all the Pokemon in an area a second to spawn. So if you, like I just did, mistakenly go... I got lost. If you mistakenly go up the ladder and you didn't mean to, don't just turn around and go back down the ladder quickly, or you are going to be very disappointed if all of a sudden there was a golden Lickitung and you missed it, you know? Always be cautious. That's my motive. My motive for doing that is just in case a surprise shiny. I think this is it right here. Cerulean Cave is not memorized in my brain, but at the same time, I feel like I've kind of remembered it. Oh! Yeah, by the way, when we picked a character name, what's the canonical name of Trace, isn't it? Trace? I can't remember. Anyways, Darren was not the right name. I got confused and thought the first name on the list was going to be the canon rival name, and that's not what happened, so... Man, you got, his name is L. You got Mewtwo before me or that girl. Oh, I ran into this dusty girl who said she was looking for a powerful Pokemon. I think she meant Mewtwo. Well, I guess that's that. Here, take these. I won't need them now. Yeah, thanks. I, could have used those earlier. I just saw that girl come in, too. She must still be looking for Mewtwo. Should go show it to her. The fact they put green in this game, by the way, was such a cool... Screw it. I'm just going to say it outright. This game is awesome. And I wish that they had they had created another one because they struck gold with this and then they gave up on it. All right, let me remember how to get out of here. Let's see. I want to fly, and to do that, I think I go on the map. Oh, I didn't even have. I just realized I didn't have a. I didn't have an escape rope, even if I wanted to. All right, so we got to go right here to the Seafoam Islands, and I'm 90% sure you can't fly there. So here we go. We're gonna fly to Fuchsia. Whee! Who needs Pokemon when I have balloons? I'm sure that's completely safe. Yeah, let me go ahead and get my Pokemon healed up. That could have been the rival's name. I don't remember what the canon name for the rival is, but I think it might be Trace. One thing that's kind of nice about that rival, because believe me, when this rival debuted, nobody liked him. But I like that he was in the Pokemon Tower when you get through the entire Cubone arc, and he sees the Cubone, and he feels bad for Cubone, of course. So he decides he wants to take Cubone with him, and he does. He takes Cubone with him. And then later, that Marowak that's on his team, that's that Cubone, the one that lost its mother. So I kind of had some respect grow for him. But dude, this game was great. I wish they had made another Let's Go game. Pokemon, if you can hear my words, make another one, man. Make another one. Let's go Articuno. I guess let's get Great Balls of Fire. How many do I have? 55? Articuno, let's try and match the ball. I don't ever do this. I usually don't anyways. Let's go ahead and match that ball. Give me 4 Premier Balls, but the 4 Premier Balls are not going to really be a good enough effort. I mean, I'll try, but Articuno in a Premier Ball, probably pretty tough. But I'll give it a shot. I'll try. I don't have a lot of money. I don't know. I'm broke for some reason. Oh, I think I know why I'm broke, though. I'm broke because I attempted to find Mewtwo and catch it in a Premier Ball, and to do that, I had to spend a whole lot of money, and I didn't have a whole lot of money, so... It's kind of weird. I pressed plus twice now to try and speed up, and I realized I don't have that. Ride Pokemon are a thing, but not the traditional way of just hitting a button and going. Gotta do it the old way. Anyways, yeah, I definitely think that we had lackluster, overhyped announcements, if you will. Remember, somebody likes those. Somebody's playing those games, so it's not really overhyped, truly. But it's just not the one that most people were waiting for. But I thought it was an excellent Pokemon Day, man. What the funniest thing to me was that Darkrai is basically the final boss of Pokemon Sleep. I'm like, dude, you added the Nightmare Pokemon to Pokemon Sleep. I love that. That's hilarious. I love that they did that. Got a shiny Ghastly before beating the Crimson Mirelins and a shiny Trapinch. I should go back to Legends. Legends Arceus is like the greatest, my favorite Pokemon game ever. So even just you talking about it makes me want to be like, you know what? I need to do a live replay of that game. And not only do I need to do the live replay of that game, but I wanted to come up with like a survival twist. The first time I talked about this, I actually ended up making that twist, the survival twist. That's what became my playthrough of SV, was live survival nights. So I kind of want to go back to that idea at some point. I would love to play through it again. Especially since I didn't actually end up recording that. I recorded a little bit of it, but not all of it. All right, so Seafoam Islands. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. It's like the back of my hand. You just got to remember. That's all. All right. Golbat. I think... Isn't it this way? Yeah, it's this one. The one that we saw when we came down here. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, I think it's this ladder right here, yeah. All right, I see some. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Hey, Prex, happy Pokemon Day 2025. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Good to hear from you again. All right, it's not that one, is it? I thought it was down here by the blocks. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's go ahead and run away. So I got 95 Great Balls of Fire. I'm definitely going to have no problems with Articuno. Not to mention it's not as high a level as Mewtwo, so maybe I can get it in a Premier Ball after all. You jumped down a hole? I can't remember. Yeah, if you guys remember, I'll just risk it. I know that Articuno is like, yeah, Articuno is, oh, is this Articuno right here? No, that's not Articuno. This is just a regular cliff. Articuno should be up here. I don't remember if you can swim up or if you, oh yeah, you just swim up. Hey, Articuno, what's up? Whoops, that's not what I wanted. All right, let's go ahead and save it. Man, look at this. Save your progress, and we're ready to go. Articuno. Gonna go for now. Increase your chances of getting... I'm gonna go now to increase your chances of getting the shiny. Nintendo Gamer Kid, if missing stream moments is your thing, then yes, you will increase our luck here at the Pokemon Day stream. But you know what? I'll make sure that I mention you if I find it, and I'll be like... You're never going to believe, everybody. You're never going to believe what happened. And I'll shout you out. I'll be like, Nintendo Gamer Kid made this happen. Prex says, in the middle of the Cyndaquil hunt right now. Got tired of phasing, so I'm only checking his slot and not the other two now. Dude, I never quote-unquote phased. By the way, I don't know who out there came up with that phrase, phase. But I wanna do... They don't deserve nice things. I hate that phrase so much. Anyways... I never quote-unquote phased during a starter hunt ever. I don't know what kind of luck that had, but unless I'm ignorant to it, maybe I phased and I never knew. Don't phase me, bro. All right, so let's do this, but at the same time, you actually have to battle Articuno. Now, Articuno is not particularly strong. I mean, yes, it's a legendary, but it's not like it's an immovable object. Mewtwo, I had to worry about. Articuno, not so much. So let's see what Pokemon we've got. What's in my party here? We named all these Pokemon. This was wow, I don't remember why see, here's the problem. I don't have context why the hell we named it that. These are all from the Nuzlocke. So did I have maybe a Charizard? I had you, Lord Sizzle. I remember Lord Sizzle. King of Kings. Magmar. You're level 45. And you're shiny. So are you. Anybody best? Actually, that one's not that bad. Ooh, we got some contenders here. What do I want to fight Articuno with? Well, let's just see if Baron Von C can take him down. Yeah, we'll be good. Let me just save one more time to make sure. All right. Articuno, good to see you. I haven't seen you since I started streaming in 2018. Welcome back. Boom, 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 boom. The tough thing, or I should say not the tough thing, the bad thing is it's hard to see if Articuno is shiny on this. You pretty much have to catch it. You have to hear it. All right. So if I were to go for the burn on Scald, I have 49 levels on you. I'm pretty sure I can take you. Okay, I can one-shot it. I don't need a fire type. We're good. All right, the other thing I want to check is I'm pretty sure Articuno is like Mewtwo. It never disappears. But there's a reason I want to check this really quickly is I just want to confirm. I'm going to throw this. Oh, I didn't mean to actually catch you. break out of that. I'm doing a test. I want to double check that Articuno doesn't flee, because you can find Articuno in the wild. Like, well, you know what? Actually, yeah, I take it back. It is, I already caught it, or I threw one ball. So if it's going to flee, you only need to throw one ball. That's when the timer starts. So let me just verify Articuno can't flee. Like I say, you can find Articuno in the wild, so I just want to make sure that they wouldn't do that to you. I don't think they would, but I want to make sure. Oh, you know what? Yeah, this is, I take it back. It has to be. There are storyline events associated with this. The only way that Articuno wouldn't be here is if you fail it, and I'm pretty sure it respawns without having to redo the entire Elite Four. I don't remember 100%, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't flee. Yeah, I don't think Articuno flees, so let me just double check. Hey, H Nation, how are you doing? Welcome to a Pokemon Day stream, my friend. I was gonna say, if I catch Articuno with a, I'm not even trying. I'm trying to lose Articuno. You guys, I mean, I'm assuming everybody played it, but I don't know actually. Is anybody here not familiar with Let's Go? One of the things you know that it's like crunch time, if you will, is see that animation there where the ring does not disappear? I mean, sorry, where the ring disappears, the catch ring disappears when Articuno makes an animation. When a Pokemon makes an animation but the ring doesn't disappear, you know they're about to get out of town. So that was at least one thing they did that was nice. I know it can flee in the wild, but this is a storyline one, so I'm pretty sure we have nothing to worry about here. So let's begin the hunt, my friends. It has been quite some time since I did this. Still have to finish the game. I've only gotten up to Cerulean. Cerulean City or Cerulean Cave? No, I know what you mean. You're definitely at the second gym. It's such a fantastic Yellow remake. I think that it showed the potential that this game had, and then they just abandoned it. They never did anything with it, and it made me sad. Aboy. Seafoam Islands, man. Alright, so if we're doing this the right way, we're going to face Articuno, save the game that way. When I boot into it, by the way, I'm broke. When you boot into it, you can just click on it, and Articuno can come right up. Saw the presents today. Well, how'd you feel about it, my friend? For me, Pokemon Sleep, I was like, how do I skip this? Now I remember how. Like I say, it's really tough to tell when this thing is shiny, so I gotta be a little on the watch out. I gotta be a little careful here. So I thought that the most crazy part of the announcement was the fact that Darkrai is the final boss of Pokemon Sleep. That is hilarious to me. I don't play Pokemon Sleep. I also thought it was ridiculous that they added shiny hunting to Pokemon Sleep. No, it's not ridiculous. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say ridiculous. It's a very marketing-esque thing. You know, they definitely are starting to use shiny, not starting, they're full-blown using shiny Pokemon as an incentive, a way to keep you interested in the game after you finish the story mode. And so they're doing that with Pokemon Sleep as well. It gives you something to strive for, is shiny hunting on top of everything else. So I'm not surprised at that aspect of it, but I am surprised Darkrai is in the game. That is hilarious. Like, literally, Darkrai is the final boss of Pokemon Sleep. That's funny, dude. I give it a couple seconds extra on this one, but Articuno is just really bright when it's shiny, so we'll be able to tell very quickly. It was okay, I guess. I wasn't super hyped about anything except ZA, which we got an excellent look at it. However, one thing we didn't really see was anything new outside of a few characters. Also, I eat my words. I was 100% wrong. I have the average, or I have the intelligence of the average YouTuber that reports on these things. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm an idiot. And the reason is, I swore everyone was wrong. Legends ZA will take place before X and Y. And I thought everybody was crazy for thinking anything else. Turns out, I am just ignorant as hell. Pokemon Legends ZA appears to take place as a sequel. I don't know how far into the future, but a sequel to X and Y. So that's my bad. I was very confident, and that's how you know I'm ignorant. Ignorance breathes confidence. And that's what I did. I was like, oh yeah, I know better than everybody. Usually that's a good statement. Everybody's stupid. So, and I say that lovingly, but not you guys, of course. I say that like everybody, like general internet people are stupid and don't know what's going on. But on this one, they were right. Legend ZA appears to take place after X and Y, not before it. I was wrong. I was like, well, look at me go, man. Guess you got to get them wrong sometimes. Humbled. That's what I am. Humbled. Prex says, I enjoy Let's Go when I do play, but at the same time, I've played Fire Red Leaf Green so many times. That's kind of how I was like, things like Articuno's Cave here feel natural, because I'm like, wait a minute. I may not have played Let's Go more than once, but at Fire Red and Leaf Green, I've played a dozen times, and Red and Blue, or I should say Blue and Yellow, maybe a couple of times. Certainly this shiny hunt I'm not new to. Done this one once or twice before. Actually, Articuno, I think I've only hunted you once. Yeah, you know what? I take it back. I think it's like the Reggies. I've only ever hunted them once. So Articuno was a one and done. Mewtwo, a couple of times. Mew? How did I shiny hunt Mew? I have a shiny Mew, or I had one anyways. How did I do that? Did I do the event? I don't think I ever did that event. I must have cheated to get that. I must have done something that... I don't know. I had to have done the event. I just don't remember if I did it legit or not. I can't remember. Mew, did I ever hunt you? I don't even know anymore. I've done so many freaking hunts I can't remember. It's all just fading. Also, the starters for ZA were a little underwhelming. Really? What was wrong with them? Other than two of them come from Johto. I was excited, man. We got Johto. Chikorita. Chikorita is kind of weird. I think people don't actually hate it. It's just funny to hate it. So I don't actually believe in Chikorita hate. But after we saw Meganium in Pokemon, the new Pokemon Snap, rather, I lost the name for a second there. I had to recollect my thoughts. Ever since I saw Meganium in Pokemon Snap, I don't know why, but I wanted a Meganium to come back and be a starter again. Or Chikorita, anyways. So I'm happy about that. Totodile? I've actually never been a big Totodile person. The only two times I've never picked the water-type starter, the only two times I've ever gone another way, I went fire both times. Totodile I passed on for Cyndaquil, and then this recent game, or generation, I passed on Quaxley in favor of Fuecoco. And dude, I picked right, because Skeledirge is one of the coolest freaking starters ever. Putting that out there too. I need to shiny hunt that because it has one of the coolest shinies as well. Bonus on bonus on bonus. I digress. Tepig is kind of like Chikorita. I feel like it deserved a little more love. Tepig has had so many people hate on it for so long. I don't know why. Oh, well, I guess I know why. Embor's typing is why, I'm assuming. I just always got to give it a couple extra seconds to make sure for sure that what I'm seeing is true. I want to make sure I don't reset over it. Just logged in my VR and I'm watching on Oculus. Watching this stream on Oculus? Oh, heck yeah. How does Let's Go hold up on Oculus? Chikorita gets a bad rep because it's remembered for being bad for 5 out of the 8 Johto gyms. Yeah, but I mean, okay, you know what that tells me? It tells me everyone crutches on their starters all the time. And I guess I guess I'm just not like that. I don't crutch on my starter all the time. Like, in fact, if anything, I don't crutch on it as much as I keep committed with my starter through Nuzlocke. But I used to not, like, I don't know, I would get my starter evolved and then, like, I would put it in the PC and, you know, use other Pokemon. Like, I didn't crutch on my starter. There were several times that I would just throw it in the PC and be done with it. Ever since I started recording my playthroughs, I started the tradition of keeping my starter on hand, but I never used to do that. I guess I get why. I mean, it's your starter, right? But at the same time, I was just never attached to my starter enough that I would even do that. Farewell tea, that was the last sip. Actually, I could go make some more. I'm gonna consider it. I'm gonna keep it as an option that I'm absolutely pondering, is making another cup of tea. Articuno. I know ice types get a lot of flack for having boring shinies, but honestly, I kind of like Articuno shiny being the way it is. I know, it's kind of weird. I think, yeah, I think ice is the only type that has a consistent shiny palette swap, and of course they really don't do too much to it. They just brighten them up. It's like on an LAB scale for color. L and A is moved over, and I'm sorry, B is moved into the blue range a little more, and L is moved into the light range a little more, and that's all it is. So you'll see the exact same palette swap for shinies for Articuno as you do Glaceon, as you do Regice, and Regice is probably the worst of those. It wasn't until Gen 5 Plus where you start seeing like Cryogonal's eyes change along with the rest of the Pokemon, you know, things like that. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm missing a couple of them, but I always liked Articuno's shiny though. I think it does look good. What do you think? You know what? I'm gonna live. Right now, live. I'm gonna look this up. Did they ever give Galarian Moltres? Or no, I shouldn't say did they ever give it. There is right now, unless something has changed, usually that means Pokemon Go is how that changes. Galarian Moltres. Did I say Moltres? Articuno. Galarian Articuno has a shiny, of course, in the game code, and I've never looked up what it looks like. I don't believe there's any way to get it legit unless Pokemon Go changed things, because they like to do that. Galarian Articuno shiny. What does that look like? It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it's literally exactly the same thing as this one. It just brightens up the palette a little bit. Was Articuno Ice and Psychic or just... Well, actually, that's a pretty big swap, though, because I forgot it's purple. Yeah, Galarian Articuno is... never mind, I take it back. That's a full-blown palette swap. That's not just making it lighter. I take it back. Galarian Articuno. I can't remember. I think you're Psychic Ice, but you might just be Psychic. I'm curious now. I'm just looking it up really quickly. No, you're Psychic Flying. Okay, yeah, you ditched the Ice type altogether. God, this thing's special attack is really high. All right, I'm good. I just had to look these up. I never thought about it. Or if I did, I never bothered looking it up. Let's see. Faulkner, and then Bugsy, Jasmine, of course, Bryce, and then after Price is Claire, yep, and then Koga in the Elite Four, and his dragons, of course, all breathe in fire. So, yeah, I guess I can see that, but do you think the common player actually notices crap like that? The common player usually is painfully unaware of typings. And I know that that one's a pretty easy one, grass, but I just feel like I don't think anybody's probably realized that. In my mind, the common player over-leveled their Pokemon so much that they never noticed type problems. They would only notice Chikorita's type issues in later generations, because usually, although, I mean, super later generations, we're getting all 18 types integrated at some point, but in general, like, if you just think of gym leaders, usually they're not doing, like, I don't know, they're not doing, well, no, I can't say that. I was going to say, usually flying and fire are always types they use. This generation was not for gym leaders anyways, Gen 9 that is. Usually they've got dragons for sure, because they always use like a dragon type trainer as kind of the apex. You never see the first gym leader as a dragon type leader. Shiny is like the other Galarian birds. It makes it look Cantonian counterpart, which, yeah, I guess, you know what? Because all three popped up. You're right. That's exactly what the theme is, isn't it? They swapped them to look like they're Cantonians. The OGs. Even though the lore, I think all three of them, right? Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos, all three of them, the lore says Galar is the original form. Kanto is actually the later form. So technically, the OG birds are the Galarian birds. I think that holds true for all of them, but I'm not 100% sure. I know it holds true for Moltres. I don't remember if it does for Articuno and Zapdos. Let's see. Which I like and hope they do more. Yeah, I like that idea, that your regional form, Shiny, reflects the original form. That's really cool. I like that they do that. Prex says most people don't care, yeah, and it's mainly the Nuzlocking community, which that's another thing too, is the Nuzlocking community has grown so much. I mean, I remember when they first came out with Nuzlocks, and it was a nice idea. I never thought for a second that it was gonna blow up. So now that damn near everybody Nuzlocks, then yeah, they finally notice things like type disadvantages and Pokemon you shouldn't use. I think it's going to be kind of obvious when it is shiny because this game has really good color mapping. So you can really see the vibrant blue that's on its crest. And when that's ice blue instead of this darker blue, I don't think I'm going to have any questions that it's shiny. Sometimes you got to watch out, like Regice in Gen 3. I remember when I did that hunt, dude, Gen 3, the sparkles are so fast. They are literally like the Pokemon spawns and it's pling. That's it. It's just a little pling, little stars in a circle, and then they go really fast. So if you miss it, especially being on a handheld speaker, if you miss that shiny spawning, you could easily just see Regice, not think anything of it, and then whoop, you've soft reset right over it. On the other hand, I feel like when you're in a shiny hunting situation where you hunt for a long time, every little thing sticks out that's different because it's been the same for 5, 6, 7,000 resets. The second it's different, you see it for sure. You do not make that mistake. But so everybody's different, you know? If I've ever reset over a shiny, I am painfully unaware of it because I didn't even realize it ever happened. Not only that, I have yet to fail a shiny, knock on wood. The only shiny I have ever failed was officially in Dynamax Adventures because I had to fail one. I found that Duskull, or sorry, I found Dusclops, and I was totally ready, man. I thought, oh, this is so cool. I got a freaking Dusclops. And the next thing you know, Alcremie. And I was like, oh my god, Alcremie is shiny. I'm like, sorry, Dusclops. I've had a shiny Dusclops. I've had a shiny Dusknoir. I freaking love Alcremie, and I passed on that Dusclops, man. Passed right over it. I was like, fare thee well. Can't take two of them. That's the only time I ever had to fail a shiny. I've even broken chains on this game on purpose. I mean, I'm not going to pass a shiny ever. I guess you could possibly argue if a Rattata spawns and you've been hunting forever and you've been building up a chain on a very difficult Pokemon. Let me think who I think would qualify as difficult. I don't have an example for you right off the top of my head here. Like maybe Magmar. But yeah, I know. I would break if I see a shiny Rattata. I mean, I would catch it and redo my chain. The only problem, I guess, is that you could be redoing a chain for an hour, and then your 18th shiny Rattata spawns, and you're like, ah. Speaking of which, oh, that was my cat. I was like, what's sliding off the table? A cat. Well, he's not on the table, but he's trying to be. Oh, hi. He's coming to say hi. Let me see here. Huh. I know I don't have many Pokemon because we did a Nuzlocke of it, and then right after the Nuzlocke, all I'm doing is focusing on shinies. Oh. Yeah, I think I moved it. I just moved it, but I remember I broke a chain for this guy. I was happy to do it, too. I did not care. All right. Hang on 1 second. I gotta move some things around because this cat has been jumping on my desk, and I'm trying to get through to him. He waited years before he finally started doing that, and I'm like, dude, don't think that's okay. You can't just jump on my desk and knock stuff over and step on my keyboard. So he's been suddenly getting into a bad habit about doing that. DS resets are the worst because it sits there for a sec before resetting. Quite the opposite. I was doing Giratina on both my DS as well as side by side with Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. And dude, I would get 2 Giratina resets in regular Diamond for every 1 reset I got in Brilliant Diamond. Prex says, I never saw Chikorita as bad, just that all grass types in Johto in general are set up to be. See, that's the thing. If you had a grass type like Chikorita that stays purely grass type through Gen 4, well, no. It's even worse with Turtwig. Turtwig in Gen 4 would have suffered horribly on average, with one exception. There's no freaking fire types. Well, I guess, no, I take it back. Sorry. Turtwig actually is better against the fire types, but otherwise, if you have Turtwig, let's say just Turtwig and Grotle, or the entire Chikorita line in Gen 4, when there's no fire types, there's literally like there's 2 fire types in the whole game before you unlock the national dex, then everyone would have been singing the praises how great that Pokemon is. So I feel like you're right. It's a victim of circumstance. Chikorita is misunderstood. The only shiny I think I've ever hunted for was Diglett in this game. It was my first shiny that I myself have caught and was not given to me. You always remember your first. For me, it was a full odds find was my first. But then the first shiny I ever went out of my way and hunted was Lugia. I'll never forget that, man. When I was like, is Lugia, or is shiny hunting real? That was, as a kid, I was like, is shiny hunting real? And thankfully, I am somebody who's like, I don't know, I would latch onto stuff and do as many times as it takes, no matter what. A good example is like, I used to play the game RuneScape a lot when I was a preteen/teen, and I grinded out some of the heaviest abilities to 99 or skills to maxed out 99. It took years. I commit to those things. So luckily as a kid, I was willing to commit to a rumor and a few screenshots from Photo Bucket on a forum that you could indeed just reset the game until Lugia turned shiny. So I gave it a chance, and when it paid off, I was screaming and running through the house, dude. It was amazing. And now it's gone because 2 years ago, I tried to make a video. I had that Lugia on my Crystal version. I tried to make a video of that, all of the shinies I had on Crystal. That game file was still alive on Pokemon Day 2023, I believe. And then a couple months later, I went to take the video, and the save battery died, and I lost everything. The only one I've got left, I believe, is Dragonair. My shiny Dragonair, my very first shiny I ever caught after Gyarados, still lives on Pokemon Stadium. That's the only one that's alive. Possibly Caesar as well, because I remember having a Caesar. It was shiny in the mini game where you used to cut the logs. So I think I kept Caesar there. But that's the thing. I went back years later and got Scyther. I think, yeah, Ruby and Sapphire had already released by then, and I had already played them for like a year and shiny hunted the crap out of them. So that's when I went back and I uploaded, or I caught Caesar, or I got a Caesar, and then I uploaded it to Pokemon Stadium. After I found out that shinies stayed shiny in the minigames, that's when I did that hunt. Prex says, yeah, that's why I'm hoping it redeems itself in ZA. Oh, you know what? I will get some flack for this. I feel like I'm going to get some flack for this. Because we've already been down this road. I know. Um, I feel like, well, actually, do you think, all right, I guess the first question is, do you think we're going to get regional forms or, for Chikorita and the starters, that is, regional evolutions? Or do you think we're going to get mega evolutions? Or do you think we might even get both? I'm just curious because if you think about it, if it's a sequel, why would they have a regional form that wasn't there in the base games of X and Y? Just kind of something to think about. But then the other thing is, if we do get both, or even if we just get a regional form for Meganium, I kind of feel like, and I know this is going to be the part where I get flack. Well, I'm not actually going to catch flack. Nobody's going to care. Anyways, my opinion is I would like a poison-type Meganium. Grass poison. I know it's been done before. So why would I ask for something that's been done? But I just feel like Meganium with that poison type mixed in. Think of Meganium as the happy-go-lucky, optimistic, bright-eyed, happy Pokemon. Make that Pokemon goth. That's, in my mind, what you do when you introduce the poison type to Meganium. it's just like, wait, well, I mean, it's the same thing as Typhlosion. Typhlosion was vibrant colors. It was the fierce fire type. And then you add the ghost typing to it, and now it kind of looks depressed. So I feel like that's where I would go with Meganium. And for Ralligator, now, wait a minute. That's been done too. Yeah, you know what? Give for Alligator. Screw it. I'm going to stick with... No, you know what? I know what we want. For Alligator, if it gets a regional variant for its evolution, give it Steel type. Imagine an Alligator that is Steel type, dude. Because you've got Skeledirge, and I still insist Skeledirge. I know it's a crocodile. Don't test me. It's a Caiman. I'm gonna stick to it, man. Even though it's got a bird on its nose that symbolizes death in Egypt? Was it Egypt mythology? Or Israeli mythology, the bird on its nose. Anyways, we've got a Caiman that's already ghost type. So I don't want to give for Alligator ghost type. I think for Alligator would do well to have a Steel type. I do hope new Mega Evolutions appear. Oh, I guarantee they are. They're holding them out on us, man. Did you see that release date? That release date? I mean, it's not actually a date. It's a time frame. We are in the late 2025 for release, which means the Switch 2 is going to be out by the time that happens, or at the time it happens. Like, they're holding out on us, man. They want us to be super hype as the Switch 2 is also relevant. So when they launch the Switch 2, everyone's got the Switch 2. Suddenly, boom, all the big announcements. Hey, guys, check this out. Bam, new Mega Evolutions. And check this out, guys. You can Mega Evolve Zygarde into Super Zygarde. And when you play your game, did you know that you can actually punch a Pokemon in the face? You don't actually have to battle it. You can fight wild Pokemon with your fists. And you know, you get my point. Any wild announcements, I feel like they're holding out to coincide with when they want to build hype for the game, and they're waiting. They're holding out on us, man. I respect it. I dig it. They're doing what they're doing. Oh, dude, I definitely thought that Charizard Z was going to be a thing. I even tweeted that out, is that I was like, I tweeted out Roy from Pokemon Horizons presenting a Charizard sculpture, and I even said, it's the Pokemon Company presenting their work on Legend ZA, except it's just Charizard for the 26th time. And yes, I still think they're going to give him... Charizard gets a Type Z or a Mega Charizard Z for sure. That definitely is something they would do. I'm still convinced that they totally botched who Mega Evolves without a stone. I think it's awesome, and Rayquaza is sick, and Mega Rayquaza is literally the coolest freaking Pokemon of all time in terms of, like, it's so powerful, it's stupid in-game, and it looks sick and all that. But lore-wise, and I guess lore-wise, if you want to say that it's the god of the sky, it can do whatever it wants, without having primal forms and things like that, then okay, I give it a pass. Mewtwo is really the question. Why would Mewtwo have two separate Mega forms and take a stone? Why would Mewtwo even have a stone? It was cloned like 20 years ago in game time. Those stones are like hundreds of years old. How the hell does Mewtwo have one? Made no sense. I figured if you're gonna give Mewtwo Mega Evolution, at least do it without a stone, you know? Alright, let's see. Prex says, actually, maybe it will get its regional form still because it'd be unfair for the Johto starters to get Megas but leave out Typhlosion. Oh, yeah, that would be... You're right. Why would they... That would feel kind of sad. Like, hey, we're giving these guys Mega Evolutions. Cyndaquil, you can go jump off a bridge, but everybody else from Johto, you're good to go. So yeah, no, that was a very good point. And they wouldn't give the starters Mega Evolutions; they'll give them regional forms. Flygon, you better freaking get your Mega Evolution. You've been waiting way too long. You got screwed once. You cannot possibly get screwed a second time. Hey, Gamer Gore, how are you doing? Favorite shiny? You know it, you love it. Darkrai. Darkrai is the coolest, sickest freaking shiny in the game. And I've got 2 of them. You are not shiny, so I'm going to go ahead and reset. Alright, let's see. H-Nation says, I do honestly hope that we get another Pokemon with some sort of Battle Bond-esque ability like Greninja because you think it would be cool. Dude, of all the things in the world, I mean, don't get me started. Ash Greninja losing to Charizard was like, what a kick in the teeth that was. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. How do you guys feel? First off, did anybody watch the X and Y anime? Did anybody not watch X and Y? I'm just curious, do you think they redeemed themselves after X and Y? X and Y was like, I would say it brought the anime back on the map for a lot of people. That anime really was like, oh my god, these battles are sick, dude. And then when they went into Sun and Moon, some of the hype died. I will admit, Sun and Moon, dude, it may have started very, very childlike, but Sun and Moon ramped up crazy. I love that anime, or I shouldn't say love it. I very much enjoyed it. The Pokemon anime is always a little too silly, and it's always a little too unrealistic. It breaks its own continuity sometimes. So I can't really say that I've ever loved the Pokemon anime. It's not like Demon Slayer. It's not like Rurouni Kenshin, where I'm like, oh my god, the Pokemon anime is so good. Death Note, you know, it's not serious like that. It's not great like that, if you will. But it was excellent. I thought Sun and Moon was excellent. I loved it. Not only that, but Sun and Moon got very mature very quickly. I was extremely surprised. I knew they weren't going to do the abusive mother Lusamine story because, and they somewhat did, but nothing serious, not like the games. Because I knew when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon backed down and basically rewrote Lusamine because it was too real, the whole abusive thing, I'm like, okay, there's no way that the anime is going to bring the emotionally abusive mother into it. There's no way. She's going to be like an irritating mother, but they're not going to bring the Lusamine that traumatized her children and abused them. They aren't going to do that. So Lusamine in the anime, everything's happy. Lily got her Magearna doll, and she made up with her kids. Lily and Gladion went on sailing adventures. She found her husband, and everybody lived happily ever after. In the games, it was, you know what happens with trauma? You never really fix the whole situation. That's, oh, no. Get off the, no. Stop typing. All right, my cat typed to you guys. I hope you enjoy his message. It's very important. Hey, no. You can't jump up here, buddy. You can't jump up here. He is, I mean, I put stuff in his way so he couldn't jump up here, and he still managed to get up here. Can't believe you did that, buddy. And he's just starting to do that. He never used to do this. Prex says, I think him losing would have been fair if it happened normally, but they literally just had Charizard use... he used a 5th move, Greninja with a giant water shuriken that was charged with who knows why it was glowing like it was a fire type move all of a sudden. But yeah, they just let Charizard be the one to win. The only thing you could possibly argue is that Alon's Charizard was like level 90 and Ash's Greninja was level 75, maybe. And even then, that doesn't make any sense. Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't make sense. It's not a thing because levels aren't a thing in the anime, but you get my point. Like, it's just got the experience. It's gotten rough and tough. But you basically, nobody knows, man. Nobody, we don't have an answer, and I don't know if we ever will, why they did that. But I think they made up for it, sort of. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, it wasn't, his win in Sun and Moon wasn't as clean as you, like, if he had won in X and Y, that would have been clean. But winning against Gladion, that wasn't really a particularly clean win, if you will. And then on top of that, I mean, I guess Horizons really made up for it at the end of the day. They let Charizard win because Pokemon loves Charizard, man. Yeah, maybe there's somebody that was writing the anime that's like, whatever happens, Charizard wins. That's all we got. Unless you're Ash's Charizard, and then we're just not bringing it back. Prex says, I also love the fact that Pikachu weakened him with a Thunderbolt prior, and Greninja was at full health. I'll give you that too. Yeah, Charizard literally got hit by a Thunderbolt. That Pikachu is shown to be OP, man. Ash's Pikachu is OP. And yet, he somehow didn't do enough damage to a flying type to weaken him enough for Greninja, who's also got the type advantage. Yeah, that was all BS, man. Absolutely crazy. Basic, oh yeah, Gore's basic take is you like pretty much all the black shinies. I actually, you know what? I'm gonna go on a weird one here. Charizard's original shiny. It's my favorite color. They ruined it. I liked his original Gen 2 sprite. I liked Charizard before they made it black. I know why they did that. The black dragon looks cool, looks sick, it's super intimidating. Yeah, I liked the purple version better. Right now, they're on a Rayquaza kick. Everything's about Rayquaza. Something I do like about the anime, I'm kind of vested in Liko and Roy. I have not made it. I'm only watching it on Netflix, so I'm usually a season behind. Or a batch behind, I should say, I guess. Either way, something that I do like about Freed's Captain Pikachu is that Captain Pikachu, who is somewhat a main character, it's a co-main character. Liko may be like the main character, but there are a whole crew of main characters and supporting characters. Cap is definitely a main character. Captain Pikachu is a physical attacking Pikachu versus Ash's was a special attacker. I like that they made that differentiation. Although there was that weird, I guess, Volt Tackle is definitely a physical attack, right? Yeah, I'm positive, right? I'm a little iffy with these newer moves, and I know Volt Tackle's not a new move, but I can't remember. It's totally a physical attack. I'm 1000% sure that Volt Tackle is a physical attack. So there was that weird point in time where Ash's Pikachu was using Volt Tackle, and that kind of broke the continuity that Ash has a special attacker. They replaced it with Electro Web and Electro Ball to re-solidify. In fact, Ash, you're a dumbass. You taught a special attacking Pikachu a physical move. That's on you. No wonder you lost that league in 2 seconds. But because Raichu and, well, Pikachu and Raichu can, I don't know about Alolan. I don't know the stats on Alolan. But regular Raichu and Pikachu have about the same attack and special attack. It can go both ways. So I like that they put that little differentiation. And not just the personalities of the Pokemon are different, but the attack versus special attacker thing. I thought that was a nice way to kind of just make sure you know that, yes, there's another Pikachu, and it's at the apex, it's at the forefront of the game, or the anime, but it's not the same. I love that they did that. Yeah, that's exactly it. He forgot Volt Tackle for Electro Ball and Electro Web. So once he figured out that, he's like, oh, didn't think this one through. I'll teach it Electro Ball. Forget Volt Tackle. I should never have taught you that. Although I think when Pikachu learned Volt Tackle, didn't they present it like it's a super powerful move and Pikachu is super powerful for having it? It's like the writers forgot for a second that Ash has a special attacking Pikachu, so its Volt Tackle shouldn't do nearly as much as Thunderbolt. So, and then somebody was like, wait, let's fix this. It could have been a fluke. Maybe they weren't thinking about this at all, but I feel like it's extremely intentional that not only did Ash's Pikachu forget Volt Tackle, but also that Freed's Pikachu is a physical attacking Pikachu, and it's like a stern, much more aggressive Pikachu than Ash's, and I think that that is all on purpose. It has to be. I think they literally just gave it Volt Tackle to look cool, Ash's Pikachu, and then they realized, oh, that doesn't really make sense. Give it Electro Ball. Gamer Gore says, Ash being a dumbass isn't really an unusual take. I felt my 10-year-old self was way smarter. Yeah, Ash was definitely, he was stupid for 1 season. He wisened up a little bit in 2. He had his moments. 3, he was doing better. 4, Ash was at his peak. In fact, if it weren't for Tobias, I bet Ash would have been in the top 2. Tobias hacked and Ash lost. But, and then Gen 5, Ash had a stroke and lost all his knowledge of how to battle with Pokemon. And then 6, he got screwed again, and then 7, he finally did it. Hi, buddy. I felt that Ash's Pikachu had a light ball built into as a held item. No, he was OP. That was the thing. He was a rare 7 IV Pikachu. He was a hacked Pikachu. That's why Team Rocket has been chasing him for so long. Also, I love, without spoiling too much for Pokemon Horizons, something happens where basically the bad guys disguise themselves as ordinary students, and the protagonists are not fooled. They immediately pick up on what they're doing. It was sometimes funny and sometimes way over the top that Ash never recognized, except for maybe about 6 or 7 times in 25 years, when Team Rocket was disguised, and it was obvious it was Team Rocket, and he never picked up on it. So I feel like it's very refreshing that Liko and Roy see through disguises. I'm like, thank you. Yeah, when I watch Pokemon Horizons, I guess you could say that I'm watching it like my inner child is watching it again, where I'm a kid watching it. I'm not trying to analyze it too much, and therefore it's just really fun and enjoying, you know? Or enjoyment. It's a good series. There are a few times where it's like, I guess there's stuff that you're just like, oh, okay, this is a little too childlike. Even when I was a child, I would not be like, oh yeah, that's a fun one, or oh yeah, that's a funny joke. As a kid, I'd be like, I'm not an idiot. Don't give me super like over the top crazy jokes that don't land. But that's just part of the charm of Pokemon, I guess, is because it's a little cringy sometimes. So I'm willing to overlook that. So I like Horizons. Just kind of something to leave and watch, and not really focus too hard on it. Articuno, it's Pokemon Day. You know what that means. This is the first shiny hunt I ever streamed ever. How fitting would it be for you to shine today of all days? And to make up for the fact it took me freaking forever to find Mewtwo. Articuno, you kind of owe me one, I'm just saying. Did my cat turn off numbers lock? He did. I just noticed numbers lock wasn't on anymore, and I was like, my cat. Cap has Rising Volt Tackle specifically, Thunder Punch, Thunderbolt, and Double Team. Ash has ended with Thunderbolt, Electro Web, Iron Tail. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Ash had Iron Tail. I guess that punches a little bit of a hole in my... Okay, you know what Ash did? He went with Special Attack and Attack. He had like a neutral nature, and so he put IVs into attack EVs into attack and Special Attack, and then he divided his moves between special and physical. Cap has dumped everything into attack, speed, and HP, and then he has Volt Tackle is his ace, Thunder Punch, but Thunderbolt because you got to have a little range. After all, just like Pokemon Legends ZA, you do need to be able to stand afar and hit somebody. So he's got one special attack in there, but, you know, just it's a standard issue. Yeah, I guess that pops a hole in my bubble of a theory called Ash's Pikachu was a special attacker, because I forgot he had Iron Tail for 20 years. So, yeah. And not only that, I would say, oh, he has Iron Tail, but he's not a physical attacker. Quick attack, that's just a priority move. You don't need to be a physical attacker. Except his Iron Tail was, like, lethal. So he definitely had EVs in attack. Maybe that's what he's a hacker. Maybe he has, like, 850 EVs. Maybe that's what that Pikachu is so OP. I forgot what my first shiny. What was yours? Gyarados was my official first in Gen 2, but that was a static encounter. 5 minutes after that, or more like probably 50 minutes after that, in the Dragon's Den, I found a shiny Dragonair, and I believe I still have it. I believe it is on Pokemon Stadium right now, or Pokemon Stadium 2, rather. Unfortunately, a couple of years ago, I went to record, just with a camera, nothing special. I went to record Pokemon Crystal to log all my shinies that were 25 years old, because I didn't want to lose them before it was too late, and I literally lost them a month before it was too late. I joked about it, or I hinted at it like, oh, it's Pokemon Day 2023. I am going to take a video of all my Crystal shinies. And then maybe 2 months later, like right after the winter, I went to take that video, and my save battery was done. I lost all my shinies I had as the world's, like, one of the first shiny hunters in the world. All gone, man. All gone. He taught it Iron Tail specifically to beat Roxanne all the way back in Hoenn, but Pikachu got so good at using it, he kept it on his moveset. Oh, yeah, that's right. That does go back all the way there, doesn't it? Remember in Gen 3 when Ash went through a slight period of taking, or was it Gen 2? No, it was Gen 3. Yeah, it had to be. It was Gen... No, I take it back. Yeah, he did a total reset in Gen 3. I take it back. It was Gen 2 where he was taking on, like, Faulkner, for instance, with Pidgeot. And so he had, like, fully evolved Pokemon. Like, he was straight up... I mean, Ash versus Gary was, like, the apex of 2 seasons of fully evolved Pokemon. They were not taking it lightly. 3 was the first time, Gen 3 was the first time Ash finally did a soft reset. For a little bit, I was like, wait a minute, did he start over in Gen 3, or did he, like, start over halfway through? But I forgot, when he battles Norman, like, right out of the starting gates, like 4 episodes in, he battles Norman. He specifically says he doesn't want to pull out his Pokemon from the PC. And we were all collectively like, that's cool, but come on, man, we want to see you whoop this guy's ass. You can't just bench everybody. Bring Charizard, bring Pidgeot, show this guy, this punk Norman, like, he ain't nobody. And then the rest was history. He soft reset every single season. Dude, not having Greninja was the craziest thing. Like, I guess it made more sense abandoning Greninja. It made more sense than not, because he had this crazy ability that was written for the anime in the lore of that region. But dude, I think we all collectively were like banging our head against a wall when he went to Sun and Moon, and we're like, dude, you have a god tier Greninja you just walked away from. Go back and get him. Oh, I shook my controller, and now Eevee wants to... What do you mean tension in the air? You should be freezing, Eevee. Gyarados doesn't count. I do. I kind of count that Gyarados. It was officially my first shiny, because a lot of people, their first shiny was not the storyline shiny. That was, for a lot of people, shinies didn't even exist until that Gyarados. Gyarados was the first time anybody had even seen a shiny, myself included. I forget when the term popped up, but we weren't even calling them shinies back then. Shiny was a fan term that was started by a bunch of people on, like, old game facts. I think it might have been Gen 2, but I can't say for sure. I know by Gen 3, shiny was unofficially the accepted name. I don't remember if Gen 2, if that was when the fans started calling them shiny. It might have been. I know it goes back. Like, it was a fan term for a long time. Now Pokemon uses it straight up as marketing. Yeah, resetting. So that was the thing that used to hate me, or I used to hate, and people disagree with me, is what I meant to say. Who was that guy? Remember, we had Paul, and I know his Japanese name, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. Paul was literally, I don't think he was making fun of me, but I think Paul was like a representation of me, because by Gen 4, we now learned about EVs and IVs, and I was competing, and we wanted VGC. We started VGC. I won VGC. I was the guy, man. It was great. I digress. Paul was me. He was the EV training, analyzing your Pokemon, optimizing the moves, and planning. He was literally the competitive player. Ash was the, I don't want to use the best team. I want to use my favorite team and still win. After Paul, in Gen 5, we got knockoff Paul. We got Walmart Paul, and I don't remember what that guy's name was. It's on the tip of my tongue. He literally even kind of reminds, like, he almost looks like Paul. And he was not as cool. Yeah, Trip. That's what it was, Trip. Trip uses, quote-unquote, a level 5 Snivy. As we now know with Liko, it's kind of implied that starter Pokemon are not necessarily low-level Pokemon. Anyways, he uses a Pokemon Snivy that he just got, and he beats Ash's Pikachu. And a lot of people couldn't get over that, even though they took half of Pikachu's moveset away thanks to some rough turbulence in the air and Reshiram. They never really explained what happened, why Pikachu couldn't use electric moves. Either way, yeah, that was something that I'm like, why did so many people get so upset over that? When Trip beat Ash in a match that Pikachu was like, he was basically fighting a hangover. Pikachu had a major hangover and half his moveset was disabled. And the people were like, oh my god, he beat him. I'm like, he had Quick Attack and Iron Tail, and that's it. He had to get in close, and he did, but he got hit by a Leaf Storm or a Leaf Tornado, and it was like, dude, this thing is like, he needs an Alka-Seltzer. Are you kidding me? You're putting him into a fight. And Ash, you know what? This is the other thing, too. Ash kind of screws around in that match. You can tell, like, there's hints that Ash is like, okay, I'm an experienced trainer. Maybe I won't go all out. And then eventually he realizes, oh, maybe I should have gone all out. My bad. It's like there's no way that anybody could sit there and truly think that Ash lost when he was going all out. Case in point, Trip made it like one round into the Elite Four. I'm sorry, the league tournament, and he got KO'd. So it was like, Trip, you ain't Paul. You're never gonna be Paul. Do you realize why Trip was never brought back? Paul was, Gary was, Trip wasn't? Yeah, exactly. All right, where was I at? Let's see. Diglett in Let's Go was H-Nation's first shiny. How many years was Ash battling by this point? Well, it's really weird. They never actually age him, so we don't really know. Because in Sun and Moon, they finally started regarding the fact that Ash doesn't just, like, reset when he goes to a new region. He doesn't forget all his adventures. So they start hinting at all the places he's gone and all the battles he's won. And so they kind of acknowledge that, yeah, time does pass and Ash's age moves up. Yes, they did call him 10-year-old Ash Ketchum in the English anime, Gen 5. I think that was a mistake. I don't think that was meant to be. If you look at the Japanese, I believe they don't even mention his age. Either way, how many years has he been battling? We don't know. All I know is, like, this Pokemon right here, Articuno, he beat Articuno, dude. He 1v1'd in Articuno. Like, he definitely was, he was competent in Gen 5. It's just, he decided to use his brain to floss his teeth in Gen 5 as well. And I don't know, we just kind of paid the price for that. We had to watch Ash being a moron for all of that. And what's weird about it is, that's the other thing I can't really say. Black and White was not just Ash being a dumbass. When Best Wishes came out, suddenly Ash is like, let me go get my best Pokemon. Let me go pull my Charizard out of the PC for the first time in years. Let me lay waste to everybody. There's even a funny part where Jesse wants to battle Ash, and she orders her Woobat to attack Charizard, and Charizard demolishes that thing, dude. He cooks him, literally. So Ash was competent. He just didn't use it until after the league. It was really weird. Basically, what I'm saying is it was terrible writing. But at the same time, I understand that X and Y made up for that. Except he got screwed at the very last second. But regardless, they recognized the fault that they had by making Ash drool on himself through most of Gen 5. So Gen 6, suddenly they revitalized Ash, and we were all interested again. Gen 7, most people bailed. I did not. I stuck with it, even though it was like, oh man, now he's going back to school and being a clown. This guy has fallen off. He's toast. And then not even halfway through that series, all of a sudden it got real. Really quick. Iprex says, plus Paul and Ash actually did have an understanding and grew off of each other. Paul learned that he had to treat Pokemon better, and Ash learned that he couldn't rely only on friendship. I'll give you that. Paul definitely fed off of Ash a little bit and learned some things. And we know that to be true because they brought Paul back. And he said all those things. So, I agree. I'm glad that they didn't treat Paul as like... They didn't treat him as Gary, because Gary suddenly kind of fell out of favor with Pokemon battling. And even though Gary was extremely talented, I think Paul was probably more skilled, but we never saw Gary versus Paul. I feel like Paul had to try harder to get where Gary was at, but then he tried even harder than Gary, because let's be honest, guys, Gary was a bit of a playboy. Even though he's supposed to be 10 years old, he literally was like, he wasn't training. Like, Paul was focusing on his training. He was always focusing on his strategies. Gary was just naturally really good, so he was just screwing around a lot. Eventually, Gary started taking things seriously, but we never saw Gary versus Paul, so we don't know who was actually a better trainer. But both of them came back like, yeah, a bit. Yeah, he had 8 fangirls in a car by the age of, like, I feel like Gary should have been older than Ash, to be honest, just by a couple of years. But yeah, he's supposed to be 10, and he had a red car and a bunch of girls. So yeah, he not only that, but he was always like vacationing, and he was just screwing around all the time, dude. He was having fun. Yeah, he was a good battler, but he wasn't an EV trainer, you know? He was just really good at strategy. Prex says, Ash used to have his Pokemon fight with disadvantages because his trust in them blinded his logic. Paul was the first person to really knock sense into him, which even though he did knock sense into Ash, remember what was, I remember the name of the episode, Top Down Training. The episode's name was Top Down Training. They went 6v6, Ash versus Paul, and that's exactly when Ash has that realization. However, at the same time, Ash does eventually beat Paul and stay headstrong because he uses the same team that he lost to Paul with. So he says, even though I lost, I'm not adjusting my team. I'm going to come back and fight him with the same team. Now, granted, it wasn't exactly the same team thanks to evolutions, but regardless, Paul even has dialogue in the anime where he says something like, oh, I see what he's doing. He's using the exact same team I already beat once. So Ash does actually stay headstrong with that logic. Yeah, it was good, man. Yeah, Paul versus Ash was a trip. That was sick. That was a really good rivalry. That was probably his best rivalry, in fact. Gary was a great rival, but at the end of the day, they didn't have all the build-up in the world, you know? Gary whooped Ash a couple of times that they met, but they never actually had, like, full battles. The first time they met in the league, Gary literally says, it's 6v6, which means you're going down. You don't stand a chance. And it was just assumed that there's no way that Ash had a chance, but we didn't know. We hadn't seen him. We just know that Gary was always a step ahead of Ash for 3, 4, probably 4 or 5 seasons and 2 generations. But we didn't actually have proof that Gary was going to beat Ash. It was assumed. With Paul, we knew that, yeah, we got a problem, you know? Like, Ash can't keep up with Paul. Paul is good, and he's not a new trainer. Like, we came into Diamond and Pearl, and they specifically used Paul as, like, me. Like I say, I resonated with Paul because when VGC really started, when I started breeding Pokemon, getting the right IVs, getting the right nature, all that stuff, all I ever heard all the time was you turned Pokemon into banking. You made Pokemon a game of math and accounting. That's not fun. And for us that were in VGC, starting VGC, we were the small, man. We were the few. There were not many of us. Most people did not understand where we were coming from. They either said, I can't believe you're still playing Pokemon, or they were saying, dude, you took the fun out of Pokemon. When in reality, we just ramped it up. We just wanted to push our bounds. We just wanted to make it 4D chess, which that's what it is. It's like 4, 5, 6D chess, especially now. Actually, I take it back. It was 4D chess. Now it's 6D chess. Anyway, so that's why we liked Paul, is because there was a little bit of Ash hate. You know, I remember a lot of people hated Ash, and I didn't really. I guess I was rooting for Paul. You're right. Not you're right. I'm sorry. I'll say it to myself. Yeah, I'll admit it. I'll be honest. I kind of wanted Paul to win. I kind of wanted Ash to get put in his place. But I love that Ash came back. I hate that he got killed by Tobias. That was I mean, at the end of the day, all that taught was it doesn't matter how much EV training you do, IV breeding, and optimal nature you do, my hacked legendaries are going to get you every time. That's what that lesson was. It was BS. Either way, not only my hacked ones, but my OP hacked ones, because Dark Void back in the day was considered OP as hell. Dark Void had 100% outsped, and Smeargle could use Dark Void. So, I mean, that Darkrai was absolutely brutal, in-game and in the anime. Gary feels like he should have been in his pre-teens. Yeah, that's exactly it. Gary, like, Ash wanted to be the best, so he's singing his theme. I want to be the very best. Gary, dude, he's just like, he's just looking at girls. He wanted to be the best, but then this damn puberty thing happened, and suddenly, you know what? Like, yeah, I'm a good trainer, and yeah, I'm going to do my thing, but, like, I'm just going to hit on all the girls is what I'm after. So Gary was going through one of those. He matured surprisingly early, if you think about it that way. Because he ended up wanting to be a doctor. I didn't watch all of it. In Pokemon Journeys, did Ash and Gary, yeah, they did. They battled. They did a sparring battle. I was going to say, Ash and Gary faced only one time in Diamond and Pearl. Even though Ash had beat him in the league, in Diamond and Pearl, Ash lost to Gary. So for like 16 or 15 years, Ash literally had an L against Gary in their final battle. So it was like, even though Gary lost in the league, he came back and whooped him later. It was like, ah, damn it, this guy just keeps getting better. So it was kind of this funny scenario where it was like, hey, when Gary gets serious, are you sure you can keep up with him? Because he was just running around as a playboy. Now he's actually trying. He kind of feels like Frieza in that regards. Once he actually started using his natural talent and training it, watch out. Dawn was his best companion. I don't want to say my answer to that. I don't want you to judge me. I'm going to do it. All right, judge me all you want, guys. Sigh. Serena. Prex says, it's crazy too because we find out later that Cynthia beat Tobias so bad that he gave up. That he took out one of her Pokemon. That I think he only took out one of her Pokemon. I remember at one point, so it was implied that there's only one Darkrai in the movie, because you know how legendaries, sometimes there's multiples. Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, there are multiples of them. Darkrai was implied there's only one. And in the movie, which is not canon to the regular story, they imply that there's only one Darkrai. So when Ash sees Darkrai in XY, he immediately remembers Darkrai because of Tobias. So I was kind of wondering, like, are they implying that Tobias's Darkrai was just being a menace and he was nearby? Obviously, we didn't see Tobias. He never shows up again. I was kind of hoping he would, though. I'll probably go for about 15 more minutes, and then I'll go ahead and call it a stream. Let's see. Prex says, Ash used to have his Pokemon fight. Oh, no, I already read that. But yeah, that's why I say with what we ended up getting, I think that they really did eventually make up for the XY debacle. And dude, for us that were there for it, that was a debacle. I mean, we were all so disappointed. I would imagine now, it was I'm going to say 16 or 17 when that happened. So I would say my guess is that I don't remember very well these the genre of reaction videos where people used to are still actually, it's a multi-million-dollar franchise, or I'm sorry, industry, is people just reacting to movies and anime and such. I don't think it was full blown at the time back then, so I don't know if anybody was doing reactions, but I bet it was just flooding with reactions if you were to do that same thing today, where Ash faces Alon and then the finale happens, you know? I guarantee that there would just be tons of reactions all over the place, and people would be so upset, twice as upset as we were back then. For me, it was just like, oh, what? Oh, they let him lose? Oh, lame. That's how it felt for me. Now it would be like, Pokemon is over. Cancel it. No more Pokemon. We're giving up. These writers suck, and we're rioting. That's how I figure the reaction would go nowadays if they let Ash lose to Alon. Dude, you want to talk about a good one? There was a really good one. I was so surprised they did it. I know a little bit. I know I have not recorded and played Pokemon Black yet, but I do know that Iris takes over for Alder as the champion from 1 to 2. That part's already been established. The fact they did it in the anime was kind of impressive because Iris is like a bratty teenager in Best Wishes in Black and White, and then by Journeys, suddenly she's very mature. And the reason I bring that up is I can't believe they had Iris face Cynthia in the tournament. Cynthia straight up does the kiss of death on her. She takes her lipstick out, puts lipstick on, and that's where she keeps her Mega Stone. Mega evolves Garchomp and takes Iris out. And Iris just like, after all this off-screen time that she's done to train and be better and work on herself, all of her off-screen ambition and on-screen ambition that we saw from Black and White ends in failure. And like, you can definitely imagine the character literally hunkered down, curled in a ball, crying in the back room. That's a very natural reaction, considering that, yeah, she was off-screen when she did it, but look how much work she put in just to get rolled over by Cynthia. It was like, damn, dude. I couldn't believe they actually did that. I'm like, wow. Talk about broken dreams. Iris doesn't have any Megas or Dynamax either. It was so unfair. Well, to be fair, Garchomp's Mega Evolution, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a great on stats of Megas. I know everything from 1 to 4, but after that, I didn't really keep myself in the loop. But Garchomp's speed drops so far that technically Garchomp is better without its Mega. Now, I know its attack goes up, so, it landed in attack. That was what was important. But its speed drops so much that you really don't even want, like, if Cynthia is Mega evolving Garchomp, she's actually not doing the best VGC mechanics. Megas, they twisted everything up. It's like Salamence. Mega Salamence is better off using Headbutt than any cool dragon moves. So same thing, is that Garchomp, I think, is actually better off not Mega evolving. However, speed's not really always taken, like, that stat is not abundantly clear when they're battling in the anime. So the fact of the matter is she landed a hit with a Mega Garchomp. So yeah, she rolled over Iris so bad. And to your point, yeah, we didn't even know that Cynthia had a Mega Stone, because the last time we saw her, she didn't. And on top of that, we had that special, the Legends Arceus special. I forget what they called that. Oh, Arceus Chronicles. The Arceus Chronicles, she did not use Mega Evolution, so same thing. In fact, you know who didn't use Mega Evolution in the Arceus Chronicles that should have? Brock. Brock literally only rips his shirt off if he's going to Mega Evolve. and he got carried away with hitting on Cynthia. So he ripped his shirt off for no reason in the Arceus Chronicles, and never Mega evolved his Steelix. Also, when you're facing a literally that Heatran was not a fire type anymore. It was literally a lava type. That Heatran turned into a freaking lava monster. So Brock's like, here, let me use a Steelix. What were you thinking? Granted, I get it. He wasn't attacking Heatran at the moment, but still, Steelix to fight a Heatran? Yeah, okay, he's got ground moves. I'll give you that. But dude, that's not the time to bring something out that's weak to it when he has ascended into godlike form. That literally is the last time you want to bring something that can melt. You definitely should have just used like a freaking Geodude, which we know you still have because of Sun and Moon. Gamer Gore says, Nito, hey Nito, my cat likes to attack my feet while wearing things. Any advice? Teaser toys. Or maybe teething toys. Hi, buddy. Speaking of cats, my cat, oh, socks. Yeah, definitely teaser toys and I don't know, maybe put catnip on somebody else's sock, and then they'll go for that one instead of yours. My cat has come to say hello, by the way. Prex says, yeah, it felt like favoritism that Cynthia got both a Mega and Dynamax. Oh, that's right. I forgot it. She had the Dynamax, didn't she? So now I'll give you that. Cynthia, I'm gonna say it. Cynthia is the Charizard of humans in the Pokemon universe. Cass, do you have any? He walked off. He's literally like, I'm not available for consultations. Goodbye. Walked away with all his floof. You can probably hear it. I heard it on a Zelda recording. You can hear, I moved my cat's food bowls in here, and I didn't realize you can hear him eating, so you guys can probably hear him right now chomping on food. There. I decided not to talk while he was chewing to see if you guys can hear it. I kind of got the audio on my mic resolved. I know it was a multi-year issue, but I think the audio finally doesn't sound like that crackling noise does not occur anymore. So I'm pretty happy with that. So, but part of fixing that was I had to turn the mic up a little bit, so you can probably catch him in the background there chomping on food. All right, guys, we'll go. Let's go. How many more do I want to go? Let's go 10 more resets, and then I will go ahead and call it a stream. Because like I said, it was going to be a kind of a short stream for Articuno for Pokemon Day, but since I caught Mewtwo, I was like, you know what? I've been saying I want to go back and do the Articuno hunt that I started my whole streaming, like my very first shiny hunt I ever streamed on this channel was Articuno. It's only right that I finally come back to it. 9 more to go. Cynthia is not the Charizard of Pokemon. I don't want... Gore, do we need to talk? You're not drinking tonight. What do you want to do with Charizard? Bruh. Oh, I got it backwards. I'm sorry, I read that backwards. That's on me. I gotcha. I mean, I'm still disappointed in you, but Cynthia is a full-blown grown adult. Everything's good. She's not an animal. I read... what you wrote, I read backwards. And I'm like, you want to do what to Charizard? My bad. No, no, I'm sorry. I got it right. Sorry, I scrolled up for a second, and when I scrolled back down, I got it right. You typed it wrong. So wait, you do. You did type that. You typed it wrong. That you want to do what to Charizard? 8 more, by the way. You did type that backwards. I scrolled up after I said that. When I came back down, I'm like, no, I got it right. You said that. No, she's not the Charizard. Yeah, you, dude, bruh. You got to take a step back and think before you hit enter. Prex says, Cynthia was the only trainer in the tournament with both mechanics beside Ash. Even Lance, who should never have lost to Leon because Leon is such a scrub, man. He's such a, I don't know, he's not a jerk. He's just a loser. The fact that Lance lost to freaking Leon, of all people, have a champion time, throws my hat, acts like a douche. Like, dude, he's Leon. No, I still retroactively do not like Leon as a champion. I get he's not the worst I've ever seen, but dude, Leon is not like he's not cool. He struck me like Alder did. Alder kind of had that like it doesn't. Alder didn't leave a good impression on me. I'm like, boo, you know. I think Diantha kind of strikes a lot of people that way too, but I liked Diantha. I mean, I never bought Diantha because I haven't played X yet. I've been holding off for too long, but I'm aware Diantha has a Mega Gardevoir. At least she did in the anime. Oh, you wanted to see my reaction? Yeah, okay. Well, you got me. I was like, oh, you dude. I thought, retroactively, I thought you typed it backwards. Let's see. Prek says, Leon feels like the all might of Pokemon. It was just, his catchphrase sucked. He acted pompous. I was not a fan. Dude, I will admit though, when I played my Pokemon Sword Nuzlocke, my blind Nuzlocke, I had a really good battle with Leon. It was awesome. I predicted everything he was going to do. Even when he Dynamaxed Charizard, I predicted that he was going to have Solar Beam on that Charizard. I thought about if he had Thunder Punch, because I was like, he's either going to have Thunder Punch or Solar Beam, and I just decided I'm going to go with Solar Beam based on the fact that he had Fire Blast. So I said, yeah, you know what? I'm guessing that Charizard has Solar Beam. And I called it, dude, from a mile away. I'm like, oh, I had it right. You had Solar Beam. Which, of course, as a Dynamax Pokemon, he then has... he has whatever... actually, doesn't his... Yeah, no, his Gigantamaxes, doesn't it? He has a G-Max Charizard, not a Dynamax Charizard. Either way, it becomes the Max Grass, whatever that thing's called. So I had a really strong suspicion he was going to have that. Let's see. I also like Diantha, not spelled out. Yeah, no, I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. So in 2025, which Pokemon has the least love? Castform. Castform, dude, nobody loves Castform. They need to give Castform severe weather condition forms, because that's the only thing that's going to save. Everyone just looks at that thing as two circles. I'm not going to say it, but we all thought it. Two circles with a Nimbus Cloud on top of it. And Castform just has no fans in this world, dude. If Castform suddenly had severe, like, absolute crazy forms, then suddenly Castform wouldn't just be a gimmick that reports the weather and everyone's like, oh, that's cool. Castform's the meteorologist. No, it would be like, oh my god, Castform has a hurricane form, dude. Holy crap, he has an avalanche form. Dude, what is that? Oh, it's a typhoon form. Oh my god. But I will be the first to admit, I bet they're never willing to put natural disaster forms on Castform because they're going to think that that's like an unusable joke. You know, it's like, it's kind of like after the earthquake that knocked the power generator plant in Japan. There supposedly, I couldn't give you a source, so I might be wrong, supposedly was a soft ban on the move Earthquake. They said no more using Earthquake in the anime. So I bet that they would not like give natural disaster forms to a Pokemon like that, because it'd be like, they would be like, hey, that's not hitting, like that's hitting in all the wrong places. You know, that because natural disasters aren't a laughing matter. So they would be like, mudslide form, cast form, let the fans draw that up. We'll do, I don't know, at least give us a lightning form. Geez, give us thunderstorm form, you know? It just doesn't have to be severe weather, just like slight, no, you know what? Yeah, I think, I take it all back. I think they're never going to give cast form anything, because everything that you could ramp up cast form just makes cast form reference things that hurt people. So I think they would never do that. Although it could at least use, you know what? No. I know it. You know, they could at least do a little bit with this. Snow is an effect. You can have Aurora Veil in the snow. You can have snow and hail, and cast form does not have a snow form. Give it a snow form. Snow is not a form that inherently implies disaster. Sand, great, absolutely. Sand form. Same thing. Sand does not imply a disaster. Cannot believe that Leon tried to catch Eternatus in a basic Pokeball. That's because Leon's a putz. And Leon didn't think that through because he was arrogant, and that's why I stand by my my disdain for him. But in 2025, that's what I say. I say cast form is something that doesn't get any love. Cast form, meteor form. Do you have any idea? I mean, we have Minior. Minior is not a lethal meteor. It's just a rock that flies through the atmosphere and gets eaten by Rayquaza. And then Sparkles get pooed. It poos Sparkles, so good for you, Rayquaza. But can you imagine like an actual meteor cast form? Like, oh man, that would be absolutely like the apex. Like, dude, that would be so cool. Having a like, hey, where's all your dinosaur Pokemon? Check this out. They're super effective. Week 2, Meteor Strike by cast form death. Prex says, speaking of it's crazy, Porygon is still banned. Yep, Porygon got banned for Electric Soldier Porygon. It wasn't even Porygon's fault, it was Pikachu, but Pikachu is the flagship of the entire franchise. So Porygon took the hit for no reason. It's like, Porygon, you deserve better than that. And now that we have 1,000 Pokemon, yeah, you're never going to see Porygon again. And that was what, 25 years ago? That was like season 1 stuff, man. Alright, so hated Pokemon. I don't think Trubbish is hated that much because there's people out there like me. I like when inanimate objects are animated by Pokemon. So I like Trubbish. I like Voltorb. I really, I mean, it's definitely up there. Is Revavroom is like one of the coolest Pokemon ever, and that's Varoom is literally described as a ghost Pokemon that took over it just went into an engine. That's all it did, is it infected an engine. Not only that, but Dhelmise is one of the most overlooked but awesome Pokemon. It is such a cool design. I love that. The idea, and I guess I think it's even said that Dhelmise is actually officially, it's the sea kelp that's around the anchor. Dhelmise is not actually the anchor. It technically is the grass that's around it. That's the ghost. I don't remember if it states that fully or not, but and nobody hates Dhelmise. I'll tell you that. People just forget about Dhelmise. Trubbish was hated, and so was Frillish. But not Frillish. Well, I guess some people probably hate Frillish. No, I think what did I know that Dhelmise is the wild in the wild eat Wailord? Oh, that's really harsh to think about. Like they wrap up Wailord and Wailord. Oh god, that's pretty brutal, man. Like you get Wailord tangled up and then it drowns on itself. Prex says, I remember the Pokemon Twitter account tweeted free Porygon. Wow, the actual official one did, and they deleted it? Oh, I'm going to look that up now. I'm going to look that up. I want to see that tweet. Because you know it's going to be there forever. I'll have to dig into it. It didn't pop up right away. I would say for hated Pokemon, I think people still dislike Vanillite. Vanillite is like the #1 they're out of ideas Pokemon, which couldn't be further from the truth. But people used to argue that. They would show Vanillite and be like, hey, Pokemon's out of ideas, dude. They're cooked. They're over. It's over. So I think people hated Vanillite. Who else do you think they hate? I still say cast form gets the most hate because I'm not saying it gets hate. I'm saying if I were to take 100 Pokemon fans and ask them their opinion on cast form, 99 of them are gonna say it's a terrible Pokemon. One of them is gonna say, eh. I woke up, or what would I do? I woke up, I had a Pokemon, it was Love-Disc. Well, you mean Love-Disc or Love-Disc? Because Love-Disc is L-U-V-D-I-S. But no, if that were my Pokemon, I'd be like, well, I'm definitely not making it past the first gym. This Pokemon's stats suck. That Broxish, that's something people hate. Oh my god, they hate that Pokemon. All right, guys. I've lost count, so we'll go 3 more encounters. No worries. I got you. 3 more encounters. There's 1, and it is not shiny. Porygon did nothing wrong. Oh, I can't believe the actual official account did that. That's hilarious, dude. I love when they make little typos like that. I actually just recently called out. I'm not saying it's my fault, but it's totally my fault. Immediately after Pokemon tweeted it, they tweeted Enamorous being shiny. And they said, hey, look, it's shiny Enamorous. They said something about shiny Enamorous. And they showed a video in Pokemon Legends. You throw an Ultra Ball and Enamorous comes out of it. The only problem with that is that Enamorous cannot legally be obtained in any ball except the event ball. So they put a hacked video. Now, yes, they programmed the game. They should have no shame. But I know that they've got a thing. They don't like to show things that can't be done by you. So they tweeted it, and like 2 seconds later, I said, bold of them to tweet a hacked Pokemon or non-legal Pokemon on Maine. That was my retweet. Something like that. They deleted the tweet like instantly after I said that. I'm like, okay, that's totally my fault, man. That is, I totally called them out. They saw my tweet and said, oh crap, he's right. This is an illegal Pokemon. Delete the tweet. What's even funnier about that is when they deleted it, they didn't convey that to the UK account. And I don't know if the UK account is actually run by somebody in the UK as a social media manager, or if it's like one person handles all the English accounts. Either way, the tweet popped up the next morning from the UK account, Pokemon UK, and it was the same tweet. So I called them out again, and I said, oops, I shouldn't have pointed out that this is not a legal mon. And then they deleted it. And I'm like, oh, they're going to block me by the end of this, man. Pokemon is definitely reading my tweets, and they're like, oh, this guy is calling us out, and we can't allow this. I guarantee it. Who else would have done it? I was literally the first and only person to be able to comment that fast. And then, except for all the bots that automatically, they automatically spam replies to all super popular accounts. Either way, who else would have done it? Who else would have caused them to delete those tweets? Well, I did it right away. They definitely read my quoted tweet, and they're like, oh my god, this guy again. I laughed so hard at that, but at the same time, I was like, man, I'm going to get banned. You realize how easy it is for them to be like, dude, this guy called out our Twitter account. I want you to copyright strike anything he's ever done with Pokemon. And my account would be deleted. You would never see me again. Dude. But, all right, guys, I'll go 2 more encounters. You get 1 more bonus. So here's 1. Because I want to end it off on a nice subtle note. I don't want to just cut it like, all right, let's call it here. All right, guys, last encounter right here. Yeah, luckily they didn't. Yeah, I was playing with fire. I should not do that. So this is it, guys. Last encounter. Thank you, guys. I seriously appreciate it. Prex, Gore, H Nation. It has been a pleasure to talk with you guys and enjoy your company here for an Articuno hunt on Pokemon Day. So on this Pokemon Day, I commemorate that no, I did not get Articuno, but I brought the hunt back. And I may even consider doing Kyogre at the same time next time I do this hunt live. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Naya and I are actively posting Zelda again. So I know that the shiny videos are always the popular ones, but like I say, if my channel was all about popularity, I would have hacked all my shinies, and I would probably at this point be using AI voice to do reactions and just posting reaction videos. And what's bad about it is that idea right there that I just told you could probably make you a very profitable YouTube channel. That's not the goal, though. The goal is to enjoy myself, so I'm sharing those experiences with Naya, those experiences being Pokemon and Majora's Mask and anything else for that matter, Splatoon. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on Pokemon Day, and it was great to see that trailer come out today. No, they didn't show all the stuff in the world they could have. They didn't set the internet on fire, but I guarantee they're taking their time because it's an end-of-the-year release. They don't want to hype it up now, and then we all forget about it by the time the game comes out. I would have used, if I was going to use AI, I would have used a cute anime girl voice, and then I would fake a bunch of shiny reactions with it, and like, oh, it'd be great. No, seriously, that actually probably would be profitable. That legitimately, I mean, there's people that do it all the time. So, that said, guys, humble and proud, I'm Nito Marquis, and Articuno, I'm coming back for you. This is it, guys. I'm back for the very first hunt I ever did. All right, guys, you take care. You have a good night. Happy Pokemon Day to you guys, and I will see you maybe this weekend even. Catch you guys later, and have a